I got bent. Oh, there's a good one right there. There's a fish. Oh, that's a good fish. All right, another good one off that chatterbait. That's a good bass. Come here, give me your face. Hello again, Fish-A-Lots. So in this episode, I'll show you how by timing weather conditions just right and applying the right tactics for the job in as little as 20 minutes, you can catch some really nice fish, the fish that you want to catch each and every time you hit the water. So stay tuned, and of course, let's get into it. And all right, Fish-A-Lots, take a look at that sky right there in front of me. I mean, a storm is coming in. I was actually busy doing something with the kids, and I was like, this weather's just too good to pass up. So this is going to be the first fish. I only had about 20 minutes to fish, and there's a lot to unpack here in how I triggered this bite. So first, just sit back, enjoy me catching this fish, and then I'll explain it step by step of how I triggered this bite and how I replicated it to catch even a bigger fish. There we go. That's a nice fish right there. It's on the chatterbait. Whew, came up and blasted that. All right, now let's see how I get him. That's a trick. All right, Fish-A-Lots. That is a nice spring bass right there. All right, there we go. A nice big spring bass off that red little chatterbait. All right, let's say bye-bye to Mr. Bass. There you guys. And all right, so as you can see right here behind me, we got a big old storm coming through. Now, it's been super warm here in the last week, up in the 70s, even upper 70s, and really warm nights. So with this cold front moving through, these fish are going to look to feed because the temperature is going to drop pretty good right here coming up. So let's see if we get a few more. Fish fast, fish hard, fish a lot of water, and you can catch some really nice fish in the spring. So I'll show you exactly what we're doing. And all right, Fish-A-Lots, there's so many YouTube videos out there where people just want to show you how awesome they are because they can catch big fish. But, you know, that is not the goal here at Fishing with Johnny Fish-A-Lot. I don't only want to show you how certain tactics work to catch fish, but I also want to explain it to you in detail so that you yourself could go out there and catch some really nice fish. So I'm going to play the exact same video here like I did before, and I'm just going to explain it to you step by step of how I was able to trigger this bite and the things that you should really pay attention to catch you a lot more fish, more consistently, and even bigger fish. So let's freeze frame this right here. And the first thing I want to point out is where I'm actually targeting these bass. I'm not targeting them right up into the shallows, right next to all that brush and trees in the margins, as we call it, right? I'm actually casting this lure out away from there because I'm targeting a ledge. So I bang this drum all the time, especially in the spring. It's not good enough just to find shallow water where a pre-spawn and post-spawn bass might be. You want to find water that offers both shallow water with easy access to deeper water so that when unpredictable cold weather like this moves in, the fish have an area where they can fall back to find more consistent and more comfortable water temperatures. But in this case, when the fish are really active and they're looking to feed, it also provides them a perfect location for them to ambush their prey and find some easy access to food. And that's exactly where I'm bringing this chatterbait over. I'm actually bringing it over the ledge where that shallow water begins to drop off into that deeper water. Now take a look at the bank, right? With all those trees and brush and everything there during the winter or when storms occur, those branches and things are falling into the lake and it's giving them structure. So not only do I have this structure on the ledge, but I also have some tree branches and things where those bass could hide out in. And now something else I want to show you is retrieve speed and what I'm doing with this chatterbait. So you can tell right there, it's just popping that lure up or that rod up right there as I come into contact with that structure right there. So what this is doing is when I'm retrieving that chatterbait and I get it into a piece of wood or a piece of structure, when I raise that rod, I'm just kind of popping it right out of that wood. And that causes like a more expeditious exit, let's call it, of that chatterbait from that structure. And that speed at which it just accelerates right past that bass is often enough to trigger a bite. So take a look right here. You can tell I'm just bouncing it. I hit the cover again and I bounce it back out of there. Now I also mimic this with my retrieve speed, which will be right here. If I don't have cover, I'll reel it in real fast. This is a 7-to-1 gear ratio reel right here, Fish-A-Lot. So that bait is moving. So I'll be cranking that thing thing fast, that thing will be burning, and then I'll slow it down, and that bait will die down and move much slower. Then I'll speed it back up again, and that once again will trigger bite. So let's take another look at it right here. Okay, you can see I'm burning it. I'm fishing it very fast. I take a quick look over at the concrete. I look it back. There it is right there. I kill it once again. You can just see as that lure gets sped up, that bass comes up and just annihilates it. And I absolutely love it. And it was even on the surface, so it made it even more fun. And paying attention to all these nuances is incredibly important so that you could replicate this and catch more fish. And this is exactly what I'm going to be mumbling to myself right here.
And he hit it when I stalled the retrieve.
And there you go. So you just heard me say it was when I stalled the retrieve that other fish hit it, and that's exactly what's going to happen with this big monster that hits this little mini max chatterbait right here.
I pretty much mistimed this. I should have got out about an hour earlier, but you know, I got bent. Oh, there's a good one right there. There's a fish. Oh, that's a good fish. All right, another good one off that chatterbait. I was just lamenting, should have kind of got out a little bit earlier, and I should have. Oh yeah, that's another nice fish. That's a good bass. I mean, these are nice bass for little ponds like this. Don't jump. Come here, bud. Oh, this one's bigger than the last one, for sure. Come here, give me your face. Oh yeah, that's even a better one right there, folks. Well, look at that, fish-a-lots. That's out of a pond. Again, just devouring that chatterbait right there. Gotta love it. Look at the size of that puppy right there. That is a nice bass. Anytime you could fit your entire hand down a largemouth's mouth, that's a nice fish. All right, bye, Mr. Huge Lord. Look at the size of that thing's gut. It's not even fitting in frame. This thing is so big. I wish I had better camera angles, but good enough.
And all right, just as before, let's break this down to show you exactly how I triggered this bite of this really big fish. And you know, here's my cast. I'm not casting right up against the bank, just as before. Now this shallow area extends a little bit further into the lake, but I'm still fishing that ledge. You could see me varying up the retrieve right here. This has been triggering the bites. And of course, you're gonna see me bump this chatterbait through some cover. There's some wood down there. There's some rocks. Right there, you see my first bump. Here you see the second. And then of course, that bass is on it. And he's just going to absolutely annihilate that thing right there, and I am on. So you can see this storm front moving in. You can see lightning in the background. These fish really turn on for this type of stuff, and this is just a great time to go out and go get them. Now, of course, I had some family obligations I had to do today, so I didn't have as much time as I wanted to out on the water, but in 20 minutes, I was able to catch these really nice fish. And so you don't have to put your time in. You don't have to bang your head up against the wall. If you know the right tactics to play under the right conditions, you could catch some really, really nice fish. And so you just heard me lament there that I didn't have quite as much time out on the water as I wanted right before this weather came in. However, what I am not advocating here is that you stay out and you fish through a good bite as lightning and thunder and dangerous weather situations present themselves. There's nothing worse than standing over a huge body of water with a 7.5-foot fishing rod, otherwise in this situation known as a lightning rod, because it's dangerous and of course there's lightning. So safety first here on Fishing with Johnny Fish-A-Lot. The bite is good, but hey, when the weather actually comes above your head, it's time to give up that bite and fish another day. And a great lure for situations just like this, of course, is a Mini Max chatterbait in the Fire Crawl color, matched up with a Strike King Rage Bug, again in a Fire Crawl or red color. As you can see, the fish are really, really attacking this thing good. Now in this next episode, I'm going to fish the very next day after this cold front passes, and you'll be amazed at how these fish's behavior drastically changes, and I'm going to change my tactics drastically and still catch some really nice fish. So make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. This way you don't miss that video when it comes out. But hey, springtime is only a very small percentage of your overall bass fishing season. So if you want to know how to adjust your tactics to catch way more fish, even in inactive periods like the dog days of summer, go ahead and click on this end card right here, and I hope you enjoy your fishing. So thanks for tuning in, Fish-A-Lots. I'll see you out there on the water.